Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This is going to be part 3 of the text adventure video series, or the second programming video. So in the previous video we made the start function and the backstory function, giving you an idea of how we're going to be basically programming. We're going to be making a whole bunch of functions and we're going to be calling them. Okay, so right here in the start function we have two different options, the monster cove and the diamond cave. Right now I am going to be focusing on the diamond cave because we are going to be incorporating lists into this, and we're also going to be doing a bit more of recursive functions, but showing you how recursive functions can be helpful in more than one way. So again, the focus of this video is recursive functions, but there are going to be lists as well. So let's get started. We are going to first show you guys the diamond cave code, and then we're going to be showing you our random events, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be creating random events that happen every time they enter a certain area. Like if they enter the diamond cave, a random event happens. Let's say in the diamond cave, if they go to the waterfall or something like that, right? Then a random event happens. But let's say they go back to the diamond cave, we don't want the random event to happen again. And so this is how you do that. Let's take a look at this code step by step. The first thing to notice is right here we have a parameter, but we set the parameter to equal something. You haven't seen this before, I probably assume. And basically what we're doing is we're setting a default value for the parameter. So let's say we didn't have this equal to true. We always have to call the function with first time. We always have to set it equal to true, okay? But here, we're defining it to be true, but whenever we call the function, we can set it to be something else. Like right here, we call first time equals false. We are changing the default value of this parameter. But an example of when we're not going to be changing it is down here. When we just call the diamond cave, there's no parameter within it, right? We don't say true. We don't have to type in true because the default value is already true. Okay, so this is just another way that you can use parameters. You can set a default value for it, and then you don't always have to, specify that parameter when calling the function. Okay, so let's go through this. Let's go through this code. Okay, let's say this is the first time you enter the diamond cave. If first time equals true, then we trigger a random event, and I'll talk about that later. We have it right here, but it doesn't do anything right now. Okay. Then we ask them, do you wanna? You've entered the diamond cave. There's a hole with gold, and then there's a waterfall. And then based on that, a good idea is if you don't want to implement the code yet, but you know what's gonna happen, write a comment, like a hashtag right here, and just say what will happen. So what I'm thinking is that if they go to the waterfall, they'll find a clue to, win the game. But if they go to the, shining gold pit, then they get blown up by this trap. That's my idea, right? You have to come up with your own ideas. Okay? And then of course I have the else. So let's say that they type in something random and you don't know what to do, right? So we say left or right, understand basic directions. And then we do a recursive function, but this time first time equals false, meaning that a random event doesn't trigger again. Because if we didn't have this, then basically the user could abuse this and trigger as many random events as they wanted to, and that wouldn't be healthy for the game. So you always have to think, how can I make this game more interesting without making a really overpowered bug or glitch? And this would be a glitch because they can infinitely get resources, but now they can't. Okay, now after we talked about this diamond cave and the recursive functions, let's go to the random event function and let's see what exactly are we going to do here. Okay, so as you can see, I added a few functions, 4 functions in fact, and then I also imported the random module. And if you think that we can do something random without the random module, you're probably wrong, because this is a very important library in any sort of game that uses randomization, like a random amount of gems or a random amount of health or something like that, right? Okay, now let's look at this random events. I would like to call this our control function for events. So what a control function is it really doesn't like change the code. It just orders the code in a very nice way. So let's look at this, right? We have an event list, right? And we're basically going to choose one of these events: Lucky Gems, Mystery Box, and Heal Well. I don't want you to copy me with this. If you're copying the idea, that's fine, but don't copy the name. Try to make it unique to your game. You have different variables up here, I hope. If you have the same ones, that's fine. Just add your own creativity to it. That's what I'm asking. Okay? Now, what this choice does, if you remember, is that it chooses a random element inside of a list. Okay? So, choice, Lucky Gems, Mystery Box, or Heal Well, it'll choose either Lucky Gems, Mystery Box, or Heal Well, and it'll save it in this variable called event list. And then afterwards, we're checking to see, is event list equal to Lucky Gems? Well, if it is, then we call the Lucky Gems function. Then we check to see if event list is equal to mystery box, if it's not Lucky Gems, and so forth. If it's mystery box, then we go to the mystery box function, and then if it's neither of those, then obviously it's the heal well. And now we have all these functions right here, right? The first one, basically, I'm thinking that we'll give them a random amount of gems that's worth a random amount of gold, so double randomness. Then the mystery box, we're going to add a random item to their inventory list, and this item will do something in later episodes. We'll talk about that. It's going to be really interesting, but you need to learn a bit more in order to implement it. So right now, you can ignore this part if you don't want to add an item. But if you do, then just add this function, but don't do anything with it yet, right? And the heal well, which heals the user from a random amount. These are just random events that could happen whenever you enter a certain area. Now let's look at how each of these work. Okay, so here it is: Lucky Gems, Mystery Box, and Heal Well. Now let's look at this one by one. Okay, first, Lucky Gems. First, we globalize gold because we are going to be changing their total gold, right? And since gold is a global variable up here, we're going to need to declare it as a global variable. Okay. Then we randomize the number of gems that they get from 1 to 5. They could get 1 gem or they could get 5 gems. And then each of those gems could be worth 4 to 6. And this is all up to you depending on how you want to randomize your gold amount, right? And then what we do here is we set the user's gold amount, which is most likely 0 at this point. And then we add num gems times gem gold, meaning the amount of gems that they have times the amount each gem is worth. So let's say they get 3 gems worth 5 gold. Then basically their gold total is going to increase by 15. Then we have to, of course, print out a statement letting them know that. And so I use the .format function because I like using the .format function. You can use concatenation if you want. And basically I replace U1 number of gems worth of how much the gems are worth, gold each. You have your current total amount of gold now. Okay, and we'll see this in action at the end of the video. The mystery box, we declared the inventory list, and I added a new variable called inventory list up here. We declare it, and it's in brackets right now, right? And then we choose a random mystery item from the list right here. Now we're gonna change this in later episodes to make it like even better than just a list. Once we know how to read and write from files, it'll be much cleaner than this. It'll be more work, right? But it'll also allow you to create new items much faster. Because right now we have a strength orb, right? What does it do? Does it increase your strength? Its life? We don't know that. But when we start working with files, you can assign values to the strength orb, and you can make it increase your stats, like your health or your attack or something like that, right? So for right now, we have 3 different items right here that they can choose from. You find a mystery box, it gives you the mystery item, and then we append. Remember, append means add to the end of the list. We add on the strength orb, life orb, or leather armor to the end of the inventory list, right? And this inventory list right now doesn't do anything, but it will later on. The final thing is the heal well, which heals the user from a random amount. This is the same thing as the gold. It's very simple, in fact. This should probably be 50, but it doesn't really matter. Heal amount equals random integer from 25 to 50. Then we add the heal amount, and then we print out, whatever. And also, some of these events could be bad, right? Like the mystery box, I was thinking we could add like an item that actually decreases your total life. Or maybe instead of lucky gems, it's like a trap, and the trap does damage to you randomly. And I recommend you add that. Right now, I just added really good rewards, but sometimes you should also add bad rewards as well. Now, let's run this and let's see how it goes. What is your duo's name? Kaifa Corpse. Okay. Let me see. We didn't do the monster cave yet because that's for the next video. But I do want to see right. Okay, I have to go right. You're blessed by the gods. You heal 39 health. You currently have 139 health. I should say gain, probably not heal. Remember, you can fix this as you go on. I'm just gonna leave it as is. And now we've entered the diamond cave. And right now, nothing would happen. You guys have to use what you know right now, to add on more and more. And remember, if you go left, instead of adding another if and else statement, you want to add another function. Every single path, every single turn should be a function. It makes your life much easier. Trust me. Any option or any path that you have, make it into a function. I think that's it for this video. Be sure to check out our future videos. They might come out soon about like how to create a monster fight, how to, this inventory list, how to make items do things, and yeah, we're gonna add a lot more, trust me. So I guess I'll see you later. Bye.